I see people are joining. Let's give it another few minutes, another 2, 3 minutes. Hey, Jakob, we're going to start in about a minute. Okay, so let's start. Hey, everyone, thanks for joining. Welcome to the Carmei Gat special by Bemuna Group webinar. So let's get started. So for those of you that are in America or the Eastern time zone, good morning. For those of you that are in England and in other parts of the world, good afternoon or evening or whatever it is for you. Um, Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Leib Blinder. I'm your host today, along with my good friend and partner, Nehemiah Kaufman. We know people are busy, they're sipping their coffee or eating their dinner, but we'll be mindful of your time and we'll try to keep this short and sweet. Okay, the purpose of this webinar is to give you guys an introduction to this special project in Carmei Gat. There are a lot of details while purchasing in Israel, and we'll speak about the main points today. We'll be sending a follow-up email with information about the project. We'll also send a link to rewatch the webinar, and we'll send our contact details. That way, you could contact us and ask us any other questions. There will be time to for Q&A. You could put your questions in as we speak in the Q&A box, in the chat box. And last but not least, we have the special honor to have Yaakov Epstein. He's a great friend and a diligent lawyer to speak with us today. Yaakov specializes in Israeli real estate, and he's going to walk us through the legal aspects of purchasing a home in Israel. So as I said before, my name is Lev Blinder. I made Aliyah with my family in 2002 from New York to Beit Shemesh. I may have decent English, but I grew up here in Israel. Over the years in the Israeli real estate market, I realized the complexity for Jews around the world to buy a property in Israel. And therefore, I founded IL 360 to bridge that gap and give our clients a 360 package of services to meet all their real estate needs while purchasing a property in Israel. We make the process safe and smooth, and we really take pride in our exceptional availability, customer service, and we are experts in the Carmei Gat market and the Beit Shemesh market as well. And on that note, I'd like to formally introduce my co-host today, Nehemiah Kaufman.
Thank you very much, Lev. So I've been working with Lev for several years now, and it's been a real honor and a real pleasure. He does most of the work, so it's been great for me, and it's been really good. So right before we jump in, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that the times we're in, and it hasn't been easy for the Jewish people, both in Israel and diaspora. In Israel, as we all know, we're currently fighting a war against the Nazi terrorist organization Hamas, and there's terrible anti-Semitism around the world. It's horrifying to see what's happening in college campuses, huge pro-Palestinian protests all over North America and Europe, and just unbelievable amount of anti-Semitism and hate towards Jews all over the world. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. But even in this time, there's a unique opportunity. There's a unique opportunity to stand together. And we stand together in many ways, if it's through tefillah or through donations to soldiers and the families that have been affected by this war, and many thousands of wonderful people, many millions of people coming together and standing together throughout the world to fight anti-Semitism, to fight terrorist organizations. And the one thing that I know for sure is that when the people of the Jewish people are pressed and there's anti-Semitism, we tend to come together and we don't give up, and we stand firm, and we build Israel. We continue to build Israel. So this is the Carmei Gat special project by Bemuna Group, and IL 360 has teamed up together with Bemuna to exclusively sell this really wonderful project. We're going to see more details about the location and the different apartments and the we have in the neighborhood. But right before that, I want to talk about the Bemuna company. Bemuna was established in 1995 by Israel Zeira and is a leading experienced development company that has built over 5,000 units across the country. The company has invested significant resources in planning and designing this beautiful project. This is actually the third project that Lev and I are involved in with the same company. And we've actually purchased homes from them in the past, and we are very happy with them. So right before we jump in, the next slide is going to be the proximity of the Carmei Gat to other major cities, and what makes Carmei Gat a really special place.
So really, when you go and look for a home to buy, or you look to invest in a home in Israel, there are a few things that are very important points to to look for. So you want to look for a location. That way you have excellent connectivity to job opportunities, etc. And we'll get to that. And that takes you to employment opportunities. It gives you, we also are looking for community. We're looking for a good neighborhood that's nice and clean and beautiful. And you also want affordable housing if it's also to purchase or also to purchase to live or also to purchase to invest. So throughout this webinar, we're going to try to address all these different points and make sure that you guys could see the potential that Carmei Gat has with all these different aspects. So Nehemiah, go for it.
All right, so as we can see, right here on the bottom of my screen, if you can see where it's circled Kiryat Gat. So this is where Carmei Gat is, and this is the area of Carmei Gat. And we can see the proximity to Tel Aviv, which is on the top of our screen. We have Modi'in right here. And Tel Aviv is actually just a 38-minute train ride away from Carmei Gat. Modi'in is a 35-minute drive. We have Jerusalem, and we have Beit Shemesh, which is just a 30-minute drive away. We have Route 6, which is a major highway. We're situated right next to Route 6, which is a major highway that crosses all of Israel. We have the train to Tel Aviv, which is, like I mentioned before, it's just a really quick 38-minute train ride currently. And in the future, it's supposed to be even shorter. It's supposed to be around 34 minutes. We're very close to the beach. As you can see, it's about a half hour away from the beach. So it's excellent connectivity, which gives you multiple options of being near other cities, either for family reasons or employment opportunities or otherwise. So this is a close-up of the city of Carmei Gat. And everything you see here is the city of Carmei Gat. Carmei Gat, excuse me, is the city of Kiryat Gat. And a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between Kiryat Gat and Carmei Gat? And the answer is simple. The city of Kiryat Gat has a neighborhood called Carmei Gat. So Carmei Gat is a brand new neighborhood. It's been around for around seven and a half years. And it's in the city of Kiryat Gat. And the area that is considered Carmei Gat is anywhere north of Route 35. So this is Route 35, and the whole area that is circled is Carmei Gat. So one of the wonderful things that we currently have making Carmei Gat really special is the train station. The train station is in Kiryat Gat, and it works. It's a really nice, easy 38-minute train ride. And currently the train is like a 4 or 5 minute drive or a 10-minute bus ride from our project. And in the future, as you can see here with this new train station with the arrow, that's where the new train station is going to be. And it's going to end up being a 7 to 10 minute walk from our project, which is really incredible. As you can see, this is Highway 6, okay, to the right. And for employment opportunities, Intel has a really, really, really big plant where they manufacture high-end semiconductor chips. They've spent $15 billion already and building this plant and operating it. And they've just committed this past June, they've just committed to spending an additional $10 billion to make their investment $25 billion. And this is all in the city of Kiryat Gat. Right near the neighborhood of Carmei Gat. And it's just an amazing, amazing thing for Israel. Intel is actually the largest private employer in all of Israel. In this area, they actually have multiple high-tech companies, and some of them service Intel, and some are just high-tech companies in this whole area. So there's plenty of work. Carmei Gat is not far from the ports and really close to Route 6. So it's a logistical center. It's a logistical hub for many companies, and it's just really situated in a very strategic place, so that creates a really, really good environment for businesses and employment opportunities.
Okay, so this is the Carmei Gat neighborhood. Here we'll talk a little bit and zoom in a little bit about into the neighborhood. So first of all, this is where our project is right over here. Carmei Gat neighborhood is a beautiful, a well-developed neighborhood. It has everything you'll need to live very, very, very comfortably and nicely. It has community centers, it has shuls, it has quality education, it has health centers, it has shopping malls, it has a bunch of local stores. You have a few supermarkets. You also have a bunch of shawarma joints and falafel, pizza. You have everything you'll ever need. Besides for the fact that you're right across the highway from Old Kiryat Gat, which is a very established city, as we said before. Besides for all those extra things, there are also an incredible amount of parks all across the neighborhood of Carmei Gat. And the cool thing is that Bemuna, the Bemuna project, Bemuna special is right in the middle of everything. You could see it right over here. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next. We're going to go to the next slide, and we're going to see this park down here that's in green. We're going to focus on this park right over here, and we'll see a video that we actually took ourselves. Before we continue, you could see the proximity of our development to the new train station. Right over here will be the new train station, and we're about 7-minute walk from there. Okay, let's go to and watch this incredible park. So it seems like the sound for some reason is off. So I'll just show this to you for 1 second. You have an incredible amount of soccer fields, basketball courts. You have a running track. You have a climbing wall, indoors and outdoors. You have a climbing park, an outdoor climbing park. You have a crazy amount of fields. You have actually real beach volleyball with actual sand. You have a skating park. It's really incredible. And all this already exists. It's actually greener than what it is because we took this video when they just had planted everything in the summer. But here you could see this right over here. Let's go back to this point right over here. You see the running track. You see the full soccer field. You have some tennis courts here, basketball and soccer courts right over here. You have literally everything you could ever dream of. This is one of the cooler, I would say this is one of the cooler parks that I've seen across Israel in general. So let's zoom in right before we go there. Let's just go back to the map. If you guys focus on these two traffic circles, okay? Now we're gonna go and zoom into those two traffic circles, sorry. Here. You see these two traffic circles right over here. So this is the square where our development is. So we have 6 buildings, 6 apartment buildings. We have 4 of them that are 8 stories tall, and then 2 of them that are 23 stories tall. Besides for that, luxurious towers. Besides for that, we have 22 semi-detached villas. So right over here. Okay, by the way, just a side note, probably the Anglo community in Kiryat Gat and Carmei Gat currently is in the high school that's right behind our development. And according to the zoning committee, they're probably getting this plot of land right over here. So they're literally going to be right in the middle of our development. So that's very, very nice. So here we're going to zoom into the semi-detached villas. So the villas have 5 bedrooms. The square footage is about 2,200 square feet, about 209 square meters in the actual house, not including a very large garden. So the house has the high technical specification. It comes with an EV charger for your electric car, and it has smart home system, double ceilings in the living room. Then there's a large garden, as we said, and a very cool rooftop. The rooftop is about 947 square feet. Very large space. It also comes with an outdoor kitchen. That way you can have your barbecues. And it really makes it a great space to hang out with the family, besides for the fact that you have the large garden downstairs. You also have an option to add a pool and a basement as well. Besides for the villas, we're going to dive in a little bit into the apartments. So we have 2, 3, and 4 bedroom apartments. We also have garden apartments and penthouses. In the 6 buildings, we showed you. The layouts are really done beautifully. That way you maximize the space, and they feel spacious. And let's look at just an example of a 4-bedroom apartment right over here. So here you go into the apartment. This is your entrance to the apartment. You have your living room, dining room, and your kitchen. Off of your living room and dining room, you have a 14 square meter porch, which is about 150 square feet. Besides for this, you also have a storage unit. That's a very large storage unit. It's 7 square meters, 75 square feet. That it's an additional space. You could use it as a pantry. You could use it as a small office. It doesn't have windows, but it's a very nice extra space to have. Then you continue in the hallway. You have your guest bathroom. Bedroom number 1 is the bomb shelter. Bedroom number 2 is right over here. Then you have your main bathroom and your laundry room right off of that. Then you have your 3rd bedroom and your 4th bedroom, the master bedroom, with like a little niche for the closet and an ensuite. It's a very nice size room, and it's a very nice size apartment. So this is the idea. It comes with a parking spot, and the very cool. Now we're just going to go into the prices and the payment terms. So prices for a 2-bedroom apartment start from $500,000. The starting prices for a 3-bedroom apartment starts from $580,000. The starting prices for a 4-bedroom apartment is about $620,000. Now, this is the price, and the prices are pretty good. But besides for that, the very cool part about this development is that you could put 15% down upon signing, which is not a large amount at all. It depends on the apartment, and then you put the remaining 85% only by completion, only 3.5 years down the line. So you could literally secure the apartment, secure the price and lock it in right now, and then you complete the rest of the 85% at the end of the process. If people are looking to make aliyah, or people are young families that don't want to pay the mortgage at the moment, it's a very good option for them. Or people rather not put too much down at the moment for investment purposes, that's great for them as well. The estimated time of completion is around 3.5 years. And now that we said all this, we'll move on to this, and we'll basically sum it up before we get to Yaakov. We spoke about the location and the excellent connectivity. We spoke about the fact that we're very close to Tel Aviv. We spoke about the fact that we're right on Highway 6. That way you could get to any place in Israel, basically. Then we spoke about the employment opportunities, that you have Intel, that you have the high-tech park right by Carmei Gat, that you could hop on a train in the morning and get any kind of job you'd like in Tel Aviv. And then you have a beautiful Anglo community, a beautiful, thriving Anglo community with they have a Chabad school, they have a Mamad Mamlachti Dati school, they have a Mamad Torani school. There are a lot of schooling opportunities and options. There are also more schools in Kiryat Gat in the older city of Kiryat Gat across the highway. And then you have a beautiful, gorgeous neighborhood, as we spoke about. So with this whole package, especially with the payment terms that we just spoke about, this is almost a no-brainer. So now that we spoke about Carmei Gat and we spoke about the idea of the development, I'd like to invite my good friend Yaakov Epstein, who's a really, like I said before, a diligent lawyer and really gives amazing service and really takes care of his clients and knows how to fight for them. And we have a deal going on right now, and we see the fire in Yaakov's eyes to make sure that that the clients get what they deserve, and that he makes sure that that the deal is good and protected. So Yaakov, please give us your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Lev and Nehemia. So it's exciting to be part of this opportunity, this project that when Nehemia and Lev introduced me to this project, I was excited since it's unique, it's different, it's got facilities that you don't see in other locations in Israel, and it seemed to me very unique. So thank you for having me here, and let's dive in. Purchasing your home in Israel. So a little bit about myself. I give a lot of lectures about real estate all around the world, about how our system works, and you'll be tasting some of it here in this talk as well. I've got a series by the name of The Ins and Outs of Real Estate in Israel, which could be found, some of my articles can be found on my website. Otherwise, I can share with you many more. And I've developed in the past residential properties in Israel and Beit Shemesh. I built over 300 properties, 300 apartments. And therefore, when I represent any of my clients, I basically help them in two ways, other than the legal aspect of how things work and negotiate on their behalf. It's also on the other aspect. Since I built properties, I know what the contractor cannot. I know what I can achieve, what I can get, what can be negotiated. I talk to them eye by eye because I know what they're going through. In addition, the areas that my expertise are real estate, contracts, inheritance, wills, and more. So usually the way I see myself as a one-stop shop. You're my client, I will help you with all of your needs here in Israel. And if I am not the right person to help you with whatever it is, so I'll refer you to the right place as a one-stop shop. Israel. So here are the steps of buying a property in Israel. The first step would be, of course, finding your dream home in Carmei Gat, which is an unbelievable place to live in. It would be following negotiating on your behalf and eventually signing the contract. I would be then assisting you through the payments, mortgages, until receiving your home and transferring utilities bills onto your name. What's different about the way I do things is in Israel, lawyers represent you until the signing, until step number 2. And after that, you're on your own. In my case, I've seen throughout my years of my experience is that it just doesn't work for my clients, especially for overseas clients. You're buying in Israel, everything seems foreign, and you need someone on your behalf who will be there, who knows how things work, what to expect, what not to expect, and basically give you the legal umbrella. So that's a service I give. You get the legal umbrella from day one until you receive possession. Nehemia, you can move on to the next one. Okay, so expected expenses when purchasing in Israel. Many have heard about purchase tax, and I've got a whole section about purchase tax. We'll talk about it in a moment. Then the expenses you should be expecting are mortgage broker fee, 1% plus VAT of the mortgage, of course. You've got the real estate agent fee, 2% plus VAT, lawyer's fee, 1%, and then you've got miscellaneous. Now, when we sit down and talk, I usually also prepare all my clients get an Excel calculating all their expenses, all their closing costs, how much they'd be transferring to Israel at every single stage. So this is just to give you a picture, a ballpark, but you will be getting everything detailed before signing. And of course, the last one that we should be mentioning is index, which basically in Israel, when they sell you an apartment, the apartment price is linked to the index, to how much it costs to build in Israel. The government had legislated in May 2022 limiting how much index can be charged, so it's not as significant as it used to be in the past. Let's move on to the next one. We skipped. Okay, so I don't see here the next slide, but I'll talk about it. It's beforehand. I'm talking about, okay. Is it safe? Before taxes. So I've been asked many times, a lot of people here have these horror stories regarding buying in Israel. You pay, the money goes here, the money goes there, you don't receive your property. So the answer, when I get asked those questions, so the answer is yes. Those horror stories are true, but they're true for 14, 15 years ago. Since we had the Chavtziba, a company called Chavtziba, collapsing in 2009, and thousands of people were left without their homes, the government legislated and changed the sale law and many other laws in order to ensure the safety of buyers. So today it's a different ballgame. All the rumors you heard, chuck them. Now it's a different ballgame. Today you get a bank guarantee. When you pay, you get a guarantee for the money you paid. The contractor goes under, the bank will give you a shekel, dollar to dollar, you'll get your money back. In addition, you have to remember, when you pay, when the contractor builds, he gets a construction loan. You don't pay him in full from day one. You pay him, you might get a 1585, 2080, or whatever payment it is. And basically the company the bank is financing the project. Therefore, the bank is very, very heavily involved and invested in this project. In order to secure their own interests, they track every single aspect of the contract. They ensure that the money is not released until after something is built. They ensure that the contractor is profitable. He's got sales. They're on top of everything. And because of that, the bank that ensures his own safety, his own interest, ensures yours as well. In addition, all the changes in the law and the sales law ensure that you're safe. If the contractor's late, you get a penalty, you get compensation. If things are not built correctly, you get compensation. They're not allowed to change a lot of rules that just ensure your safety. All you have to do is pay on time, receive possession, and choose your finishing items. And that's actually the fun part about it. And the last thing I'll just say it out is if the contractor is late, you will be receiving rent as a compensation. Okay, next slide. Taxes. So the fee of taxes, I should mention before we move on to the next slide, is that in Israel, there's a purchase tax, which is when you buy a property, you have to pay a tax. Everyone pays purchase tax, including Israelis. But there are different brackets. Now, many of my clients say, hey, why is it so high? But you do have to remember they could be in Israel. It's slightly more upfront loaded. But together with that, throughout the period of holding on to your property, you're paying a lot less taxes. If in New Jersey, you'll be paying 20, 30, Great Nick, you might be paying $30,000, $40,000 a year property tax. In the US, I'm talking, of course. In Israel, you'll be paying $3,000 a year. And not only that, if you rent the property, your tenant will be paying it. So you have to remember that throughout the lifetime of holding onto the property, you barely have any property tax to be paying. So slightly upfront loaded. Next slide. So taxes in Israel are based on residency. And a non-resident of Israel will be paying from the first shekel 8% until about 1,600,000. Above that, 10%. Now, these are updated numbers. It was changed just now, January 16th. So if everyone tells you, oh, are these the new numbers or the old numbers? These are the new numbers. Unfortunately, it's not the new dollar, which is to your advantage. The dollar is going up and up and up and up. Everything's becoming cheaper and cheaper for you guys. Okay, next slide. Many people ask me about Oleh Hadash benefits. So yes, someone who makes Aliyah within a certain amount of time can enjoy a benefit of paying only 0.5% until $531,000 and above that 5%. Is it worth using your Oleh Hadash benefit? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's something that we'll discuss one-on-one. If you calculate the numbers, the Oleh Hadash is actually slightly more expensive, up to about 6 million shekels. But there's other reasons why you would prefer using your Oleh Hadash benefit. When we sit down and talk, we'll plan it out correctly to you. Now, out of curiosity, it's the next slide, Nehemia. Out of curiosity, you want to know how much Israeli residents pay? So here it is. Up to $520,000, you're not charged with a tax. For the sum above 520 until 617, you pay, you pay 3%. Above that is 5, and above that is 8, and above 5,311 will be 10%. Okay, so the last topic we'll be discussing is banks and paying here in Israel. So many of my clients say, "Oh, Yaakov, can you help me open up a bank account?" So A, yes, I do offer such a service. B, you don't need that service. You could buy the apartment without visiting Israel, without flying to Israel, without opening a bank account. I will help you facilitate the whole process from signing the contract from far until paying from far as well. The Israeli banks, since the legislation of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, things became more complicated in Israel. It's not like people remember 10 years ago. Today, when you transfer funds, everything is scrutinized. You have to bring proofs. You're not laundering money. So therefore, there are 3 methods to transfer money to Israel. The first one is using Israeli banks. Yes, they're safe, but they're not as convenient and they're expensive. They charge you high fees. The second option, which is the option that most of my clients use, and when you buy from a contractor, it's pretty much the only option you should be using, is using Israeli foreign exchange companies. Those companies, basically, you transfer dollars to them, they will convert it on the exchange rate there at the time of conversion, and they charge just a small fee. They're cheaper than Israeli banks, and they offer an awesome service. They pay everything on your behalf. They will pay the contractor, your brokers, your mortgage broker, my fee, taxes. They'll act as your bank account. Now, before we continue, I just want to show you're getting a bank guarantee here. It's a safe purchase. So to get a bank guarantee in Israel, you get this booklet, a 1980 booklet. Believe it or not, you get these pages you have to take to the bank, fill it out, and this is how you pay. Now, you don't have an account, and you can't do that. Therefore, your foreign exchange company will be receiving one of these slips from me on your behalf, and they will go to the bank paying it. And of course, the last option is foreign exchange companies, and many times they are slightly cheaper, but they cannot pay your taxes here in Israel because you can't pay by bank-to-bank transfer. They cannot pay the contractor. You can't pay bank-to-bank transfer. Therefore, they're limited. So in most cases, the right way to go is Israeli foreign exchange companies. Chemia, we can move on to the next one. Thank you so much for attending this talk. If anyone has any questions, please, you can write those questions in the question and answer beneath. I'll be more than happy to respond.
Okay, so
Thank you, Yaakov.
thank you so much, Yaakov. That was a great talk, and
it's always nice to hear you. You're always very
never
clear.
get old.
Yeah, you're always very clear, always to the point. Make sure that everybody understands everything, makes the process simple, and that's very important for people in America or around the world. Even Israelis, Yaakov does a significant amount of deals in Israel. Israelis who choose to use him just because it just works really well. All right, so let's get on with Q&A. We have a few minutes, so we're going to try and answer as many questions as we can. And if not, definitely reach out to us and we'll answer all your questions.
Okay, so let's look at a few of the questions that were asked. So someone asked about the topography of the land, the layout of the land. So it's a very flat topography. So it's very comfortable to live there. There are no hills and things like that. It's because we're close to the water, so that's the topography there. Someone asked about health centers. So there are Kupot Cholim, which are the general health centers here, and there are a bunch of them across Carmei Gat, and there are bigger centers in Kiryat Gat Prime. Another person asked, can we make changes inside the apartments or inside the villas? So definitely one of the very big pluses about making change of buying a pre-sale is buying pre-construction is that you could literally come and move walls, all the walls that are not concrete. You could choose your own tiles, you could choose your own kitchen, you could upgrade things if you like, even though that the technical specifications are very nice here, but you could literally customize your home for your own use. We have clients that turned 4-bedroom apartments into 2-bedroom apartments. That way they have much more space. We have clients that literally change the whole layout. It's something that's done all the time, and it's something that's a big plus of buying on paper. Another thing, there are some of you that asked about if they could manage the apartment from far. So we do have a management team in our company that could manage your apartments from abroad. They have an interior designer that will choose the different tiles and the different changes in your apartment. They will find renters afterwards and deal with the whole process. I know that Yaakov has a policy that if you go through him and close your contract through him, he gives you the first rental agreement free. Am I correct, Yaakov?
You're correct.
Which is a very big bonus as well. And another thing, some people asked about the timeline. So the timeline is 3.5 years. It's very possible it'll be completed earlier. The builders do not want to pay the delayed fees. Even in this time of the war, first of all, it'll take us about a year till we start having to have a lot of workers. The first part is the digging, and it's a lot of it's about nine or 10 workers usually, because you just need a bunch of tractors and stuff like that. So that's for the first year. But in any case, we're negotiating with 2 companies that actually have Chinese workers now. So it hopefully won't be a problem at all.
But regardless of that, if the builder is late, then he owes late fees. And I think Yaakov spoke about that before. So if for whatever reason the completion date comes and the apartment isn't ready, he has to start paying late fees.
What is this? 1 second. So someone asked about exercise studios. So there are a few gyms in the area. There is a gym in Carmei Gat, and there's also a few gyms in Kiryat Gat. There's also a pool in Kiryat Gat. And the whole neighborhood is full of running tracks as well, running and biking tracks.
Somebody asked here, who's the builder? So that's an excellent question. So Bemuna Group is the entrepreneur, and they own the land, and they are the ones who contract the subcontractor to build the buildings. So anybody who signs an agreement signs it with Bemuna, right? And then they hire a builder. Sometimes they're Chinese, sometimes they're from other nationalities to build the building. So that's the way it works.
Someone asked here about getting help with the down payments. There are certain things that maybe could be done, but that has to do with every person in particular. So you're welcome to, I see it's an anonymous question, so you're welcome to reach out to us. We're going to be sending a follow-up email shortly. What else? The starting prices for the villas are starting from around depends on the payment terms, but around 4.8. And it depends if you add a pool or if you add a basement or anything like that. So I think we answered all the questions. And
if we didn't answer,
you're welcome to reach out to us later. And if we're going to send our contact details as we said before. Okay.
We really encourage you to reach out. We're here for you, Yaakov Epstein. You're going to get his information as well. Please reach out. Any questions you have, we'll be happy to get on a Zoom call. We'll be glad to answer your WhatsApps or emails or whatever it is. So really, please feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to assist you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your time.
1 second before you finish. We're actually going to be in the States. We're going to be in America and Canada in the next couple of months, several times. Yaakov is going to be there as well. We're going to be visiting America and North America. So, and we're probably also going to be in England at some point. So you are welcome to reach out and we could hop on a Zoom, we could hop on a call, and we might arrive at your house as well. So let us know, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Yaakov.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.